Hi, I'm Sarah from Blossom Bibs, and today I'm going to show you how to make a 2-layered face mask at home. So you're going to need a few items. So you will need 2 pieces of fabric. You'll be able to get a fat quarter from Spotlight or Lincraft, and you'll get more than enough mask from that. I like to use 2 different ones. You can use the same pattern. So you got your fabric, you're going to need your scissors, your pins, elastic threader or a safety pin, they do the same thing, a pen or your tailored chalk, and your template. So you can get templates online from Spotlight or Lincraft, print them out at home. I've traced mine onto cardboard because that's going to last a lot longer than a piece of paper. So starting with your fabric, you want to get the right side up, okay? Now fold it in half so that you've got the outside facing you. That's the side you're going to trace. So you want to have your mask this way. These are your ears, these are the middle of your face, your nose and your chin. Okay, so you want to have it that the pattern is running this way. Otherwise you'll end up with your fabric pattern the wrong way up. So placing it and then using your pen or chalk and just trace the whole way around. Okay, so now I've got my outline, just using your fabric scissors, and you can cut it out. So you want to do it on both pieces of fabric. So the fabric that's going to be the outside of your mask and the fabric that's going to be on the inside. Okay, so now that you've got your 2 layers, you want to keep them like that. The next piece you need to cut out, just using the scraps from when you cut the inner out, you just want to get a little rectangle which is going to form your nose piece. This, you don't need to measure this, you can if you like, but I just roughly cut out a rectangle. Okay, so then go ahead and pin your sides together, and this is going to hold it in place for when you use your machine. Okay, now with your rectangle that you've just cut out for your nose piece, turn it the other way up, and your 2 smaller sides, you just want to fold your raw side in. Now you can go ahead and pin that because you're going to run your machine along here, okay, and that's going to give you a nice edge when you sew your nose piece on. So do both sides, and now we can move over to the sewing machine. And then you just run the machine along, come to your end, and your back stitch, and then run it out. And we do the same on the next piece. Back stitch. Now moving on to your nose piece, you want to just fold down slightly and run the stitch along just to secure the raw side, and that gives you a nice edge. And then the same on the other side. Now, if you open these up, you will see you've got half a mask. So your nose piece can go either on the outside or on the inside. It's really personal preference. It's whether you want to ruin the pattern on the outside. In this situation, I want to keep my cockatoo, so I'm going to put the nose piece on the inside. So with this that you've just done, you just want to roll it up so that it forms a nice nose piece. Okay? Carefully place it in the center, but towards the top. Now this is going to allow for a pipe cleaner to be inserted in it, and then people will be able to pinch their nose. So you want to leave an opening on one of the sides. So you can pin it or just hold it in place with your fingers. So you start at one edge, always back stitch, and then you just run it along the nose. Now Now remember, you want to leave an opening, so you only want to do 3 sides of your rectangle. So as you can see, you now have a nose piece. Opening them both up, you want to put the 2 right sides together. And then you just grab some pins and just pin it the whole way. So what we're going to do is we're going to run the machine the whole way around. However, we're going to be leaving some gaps. There will be a gap here, probably 1.5 inches, so that you can turn it the right way out. And then I also leave a gap on each of the 4 corners so that I can thread a elastic through. So I'll show you what I mean. Okay, now stopping about here. So I always back stitch and forward a little bit. This is going to secure the opening for the elastic, and just bring it through. You can chop your cotton and restart it. I personally just prefer to drag the cotton through. Now back stitch again and do a little bit, and now run down the side. And this has actually left now a track for the elastic. Now you want to do that on all 4 sides. Okay, so I've sewn the whole way around, and as you can see, I've left a little gap here to here so that we can turn it inside out, and I've got gaps on all 4 sides so that it's going to allow an elastic to be threaded through. Okay, so let's turn this inside out. Alright, so you just poke all the corners out. You can use your fingers. I personally like my little unpicker just to sort of grab the corners and flick them out, just like that, really carefully, because you don't want to put a hole in your fabric when you do this. And then as I'm going along, I just sort of start pulling it out. Okay, and it's starting to take shape. So as you can see, there's your nose piece on the inside. So once you've got it, you can iron it at this stage. I personally just go ahead and sew, but if you iron it, it will get out all those creases. So now with the same pins that you've been using, just roll out the edges and then just pin it so that the 2 fabrics stay in place, and we're about to top sew it. So there's the hole there. So I'll put a pin across that so it stays in place. So before we top stitch it, which is going to hold the 2 pieces together, we need to do a track for the elastic. So just sort of find where your little gap is. So it's going to start about there, and the one here is going to be about there. You just want to run a straight line straight down the piece. So always back stitch. And then you want to do the same on the other side. So now that you've got your elastic track in place, you can go ahead and sew all the way around, obviously stopping at your track because you don't want to close off your elastic piece. Okay, so you can see I've done a track along the top and along the bottom, which is going to seal the 2 pieces of fabric together so that they don't get all bunched up when it's being worn and also in the wash. So you can see here, this is our turn gap. So you can either hand stitch that if you like, or I just run it through the machine and just have it sealed that way. So just straight across. Okay. So now that it's fully sealed, there's only 2 more steps, which is the elastic and the pipe cleaner for the nose. So with your safety pin or elastic threader, you just go straight down your track and it will pop out the other end. So you can be quite rough with these. So I like mine bunched up and just tie a double knot. This allows the person who is wearing it to adjust it to their needs. and then you can thread the knot through the track, and you do the same on the other side. With your nose piece, you get your pipe cleaner for extra strength, double it up and just give it a little twist at both ends. And then also make sure you cut this to size because you don't want that poking anyone in the eye if it's sticking out. And you just thread it straight through. Okay, so there you go. So I'll pop the second lot of elastic in. Double knot. And there you have it. One completed face mask.